Hey everybody, David here, and today I am going to be talking about Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 4, Abominations. And I'm just going to start off by saying this right now. This is probably the best episode of Legends of Tomorrow so far. I was literally at fear sometimes. It was pretty intense. It was emotional. Wow, let's just start talking about this. So we basically have the Legends of Tomorrow now in, the early it was the mid or late 1800s. And there are zombies now back there. And we don't know, did they answer how the zombies got there? They found out that someone leaked an antidote or something. But I don't think they ever gave a clear answer. But I gotta say, I was thinking this episode was gonna be the Legends of Tomorrow fighting the Walking Dead. Literally, it was gonna be a crossover with the Walking Dead zombies. And this episode turned out to be so much more. I really did like the zombie angle of this. It had a really cool feel, very thrillerish. I really liked it. I liked that Sarah was still, she hasn't really figured out her place quite yet. She has, but she's still figuring things out on how to lead the team. And I like that little advice that the soldier, the captain at the end gave Sarah a little bit about leading a team and not worrying how to give the orders or something, and just give it to them. Don't worry about it, because that's what makes you the leader. I really did like that Mick turned into a zombie as well, and Dr. Stein and Raymond had to hold Mick down until they could figure out a cure. Mick is a pretty scary, zombie, and it's funny because that actor, I'm forgetting his name right now, who plays Mick. Dominic Purcell. He played Dracula in Blade Trinity, so now he got to play a vampire, now he's getting to play a zombie, which is really cool. And, Mick is a big guy too, especially compared to Raymond and Dr. Martin Stein. And the fact that Martin has this fear of zombies made it really fun and interesting to see how they were going to be able to take Mick down. And I like at the very end too when Mick gave Ray the Leonard Snart's old cold gun, freeze gun, because he wants a partner now. And Ray, let's face it, out of all the legends, I think Ray is the one that's definitely developed a friendship the most with Mick, so it makes sense. Both of them have, I think Brendan Routh and Dominic Purcell both have a really, really nice chemistry together. And you need that for a partnership, you need that for a bromance. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out, especially since we know sometime down the road, Captain Cold, aka Leonard Snart, is going to eventually come back somehow. And how will Leonard feel about his old partner teaming up now with someone else and moving on? That to me will be interesting. But then again, maybe not, because Leonard died at a certain time period, unless they change that somehow and bring Snart back. So many questions and answers that will bring up when the time comes. But right now, I'm liking this little bromance between Mick and Ray. Probably the strongest part of the episode to me, though, was Jackson's storyline in the episode. You don't see too many superhero TV shows or even movies, for that matter, dealing with social issues going on in the world. And racism, prejudice, and sexism are definitely big things. And it's funny because the comic books do deal with situations like that. And so for now a TV show to finally do an episode like this that focuses on something like that, it made this episode really powerful. And as if the zombie stuff wasn't good enough, this episode wasn't Legends of Tomorrow versus The Walking Dead. This was The Walking Dead with 12 Years a Slave. There were moments with Jefferson that it got pretty intense. There was that one woman who was being whipped that instantly reminded me of 12 Years a Slave. Of course, this is not like a rated R, so it's not as brutal as 12 Years a Slave was. 12 Years a Slave is a rough movie. It's a great movie, but it's a rough movie to watch. It's not a movie that I'm going to go back and watch, week after week, because it is not a fun film. It's a drama, and you are terrified of what's going on because that's how people were treated back then. And for them to raise awareness on that in this episode, I thought was really great. And seeing Jefferson see this, because in the beginning he wasn't too concerned of, oh, don't worry, I can handle this. I've been black my entire life. And he goes out and he realizes, no, this is actually more severe when you actually have to deal with it. And I like that they brought up at the end when him and Martin were both talking. Martin says, even though we have this psychic connection, I can feel how scared you were, but I can never really feel exactly what you went through. And I like how Jefferson, brought up a lot of true facts about situations, what he went through and what he saw on those people, hope. And that's probably what a lot of those people back then needed. And yeah, so I was really impressed by this episode, guys. I was with it all the way through. This is probably the best episode of Legends of Tomorrow so far. I would give it a 9 out of 10, a very 9.5 out of 10. I can't give it that 10 quite yet because there were some things that kind of that could have been done better. But Jefferson's storyline alone, I think, if I were to rank that storyline alone, that would have been a 10 out of 10. I felt that was really handled really well, and you can feel they really wanted to give that story the justice it deserved. Because if you mess it up, a lot of people are gonna feel insulted because that was something real that happened back then, and don't make a mockery out of it. And I felt they were respectful to it, and they brought up those issues really well, and mixing it with the zombie stuff, like when the guy, the slave owner, I guess, when he was fighting the zombies, and Jefferson was like, hey, give us some guns so we can help you, give us some weapons. And the guy is like, you think I'm actually gonna trust people like you with a weapon? And I was like, God, this guy is an idiot, man. Like, just give them a weapon. And I'm glad he died, because that just showed how ignorant that character was. So yeah, it was a really great episode, man. I liked it. Everything, the zombie stuff, Sarah and Commander Steele's storyline. I like how they were all separated, doing their own things. This episode really balanced all the characters really well. They all had something to do, and it was a lot of fun. I hope we get more stories like this, more emotional, and once in a while do some of these social issues type of episodes, because I think that's what really made this episode really important. And there's a lot of stuff in the world that this show could be covering, especially when they go through different ages, because there's always different problems in different times, like you go back to the ancient Egyptian times, you can probably do another slavery episode on that, or in the 1980s, I'm not too sure what a big problem was in the 1980s, but I'm sure they can find something. They're writers. They're smarter than me. But yes, these are the kind of subjects I like to see in my TV shows, because that's when the show makes me proud and say, yes, this is great storytelling. What else do you got for me? So I hope they keep this up. Obviously, this was kind of a filler episode if you really think about it, because we didn't get no Legion of Doom stuff. We didn't get no hints at not Vandal Savage, Damien Dark or the Reverse Flash. But maybe next week we will. I know we're going to be getting Reverse Flash or Damien Dark next week. And Reverse Flash, I believe, is supposed to show up. So we'll see what happens. But yes, I really love this episode. Comment below, guys. Tell me your thoughts. Anything that I might have missed. But I think I covered the basics. And like this video if you agree with me. Subscribe to my channel if you love Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Gotham, whatever. I always do reviews on Flash, Legends, and Arrow. So if you're a fan of those three, for sure, subscribe to my channel. And I'm always talking about them. And yeah, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And until next time, guys, take care.